What's good everyone, it's your boy Yidzig, 4 Eyes, 2 J's here, and today we're here to talk about Trippie Redd. Now, as most of you guys would know, over the last couple weeks or so, we've seen Trippie Redd get into a couple pretty high profile beefs, one with KSI, which is a recent one, and then another one with Pierre Bourne. And as often does happen in situations like this, Trippie has ended up sharing his own perspective and his own outlook, if you will, on how these situations played out and why he feels the way he does. However, in both these situations, in trying to explain his side of the story, he's ended on two conflicting viewpoints that honestly just negate each other, and in this case I think he comes out looking like a hypocrite for saying what he said. So I want to break it down, let's get to it.
I thought I was the only one. You said you wanna be alone. You swear you're leaving us, but you're fucking up, fucking up. That man ain't got no love. That nigga, he lame as fuck. I thought you wanted us, but you got me stuck, got me stuck.
Okay, firstly it's important to start with some context, so let's break down these beefs and explain Trippie Redd's perspective in either of them. Let's begin with the Pierre Bourne one, and honestly this one's pretty simple. Trippie Redd goes on his IG live kind of out of nowhere and outs this about their behind the scenes dealings.
Niggas always forget where they came from. I remember when niggas was just engineering in the studio, living out the studio, hoping niggas gave them a shot. I so happened to be the nigga that gave the nigga the shot. Wanna charge their homies $80,000 for beats now. Like, y'all niggas is corny.
As you can see in that clip right there, Trippie clearly felt a way about Pierre Bourne trying to charge him $80,000 for a beat, because he felt that because of their own personal relationship and history in the past, that Pierre kind of owed him a little bit and 80 racks was too much to ask. Then after this we kind of saw a back and forth between the two. That's not super important to this video, but what is this Instagram post from Pierre Bourne right here, where he kind of makes a joke about this situation with his caption, but then read Trippie Redd's comment about it right here. And although this beef is not super serious or anything like that, you can clearly tell that Trippie Redd views their relationship as more than just a business one, with him saying that Pierre let him down as a brother. So that's super important to note in this Pierre Bourne situation, despite the fact that Pierre Bourne is one of the hottest producers to come out for a minute, and rightfully so at this point in time, could probably charge $80,000 for a beat. Trippie Redd leans on their personal relationship for his viewpoint and his stance in this case. And now next to move on to is the whole KSI situation, and again I just want to say I'm not going to go super in depth into this whole beef and break down everything. I'm just going to break down what's important to this video. So first of all, their relationship kind of begins with a feature and video Trippie did for KSI called Wake Up Call. Then after this, Trippie Redd is then seen with Jake Paul, who apparently has some sort of beef or an issue with KSI. I'm not too sure about that whole situation, I don't watch either of them, but as you can see with this story right here, Trippie Redd was kind of joking around with Jake Paul about KSI himself.
Hey KSI, you don't want that shit, bro.
You already got the song. You don't want the hands.
You don't want the
That's
hands.
a whole different story, my nigga.
It's me and
Real
Trippie.
shit.
Yeah, it's me and Trippie.
Then after this, KSI's huge fan base started attacking Trippie Redd for doing this, kind of accusing him of being a snake, to the point where he was facing so much backlash that Trippie Redd had to respond by saying this on his Instagram.
KSI love me. I love KSI. Y'all be looking way too deep into things. KSI, great artist. We made a good song together. Jake Paul, from Ohio. Call me a snake, whatever you want to call it. I don't give a fuck. I don't even know KSI. Me and him doing that song, the video shoot was the first time I ever met him. But he cool though, I fuck with KSI.
Then despite Trippie Redd saying this, afterwards we saw KSI, who clearly felt a way about this situation, go on to say this in an interview.
Who is the worst artist you've ever worked with?
I won't say worst, but the most difficult.
I think that's okay.
I'll say Trippie Redd.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. He was, it was a hassle. Trippie Redd is an amazing artist, but he is
Bleep all
a
this out, by the way.
difficult person
This
to
is
work
not-
with.
So it's pretty clear, although from Trippie Redd's viewpoint, it wasn't that serious and he still loves KSI and he was doing it because Jake Paul was from Ohio, the same place that Trippie comes from, KSI wasn't buying it and clearly wasn't feeling Trippie at all if he called him the most difficult artist he's ever worked with. Now, what's super important and kind of links up this whole narrative is then Trippie Redd's response to KSI calling him the most difficult artist he's ever worked with. And before I play this response, it's super important to remember that we just saw Trippie Redd say in that Pierre situation, bro, Pierre, how could you charge me 80 racks for a beat? You're my brother, you let me down, etc, etc. But having said that, let's play Trippie Redd's response here.
You know, sometimes you just gotta kill people with kindness. Thank you, KSI. You paid for my studio. I appreciate you. I'm sorry we never got to talk on the phone or be friends or whatever. And one last thing, some little words of empowerment. When you get into this shit, realize it's just business. I'm not your friend. I don't know you. I'ma pull up on whoever I want to. And that's how it's gonna always go. I went through it. You gonna go through it. Can't be mad at people for not fucking with or fucking with who you don't fuck with.
And keeping in mind, as I said, the context of that Pierre situation, I think the biggest quote that kind of stood out to me right there was, quote, "It's just business." Well, Trippie, if business is business in this case with KSI and how you deal with someone you're working with and you're given a feature for, shouldn't the same thing apply in the Pierre situation, who in that case is one of the hottest producers to come out for a minute and rightfully so could charge you 80 racks for a beat? In my perspective, Trippie Redd clearly comes out with two opposing viewpoints in both these situations right here, conveniently to suit himself and make him look better in these cases. You can't say business is business in the KSI situation and then go at Pierre Bourne for letting you down as a brother when he charges you a pretty reasonable price for one of his beats, considering again that he is one of the hottest producers out right now. So yeah, I don't know, I think this just kind of irked me a little bit because I didn't get a chance to speak about the whole Pierre Trippie Redd situation when it first happened. I was on a bit of a hiatus at this time, so I just wanted to kind of give my thoughts on it because even regardless of this whole KSI situation, I think Trippie Redd just kind of came across as a bit of a lame and as a bit of a crybaby. Dude, sure he did a lot for Pierre Bourne by hopping on his beats, but it's a 50-50 two-way relationship. Pierre Bourne gave you the sound and the direction for those songs to go as big as they did, and if they didn't have Pierre production, and keep in mind at that time Pierre's sound wasn't so big and so well known, it wasn't so copied like it was, so it was a really unique sound. So if Trippie Redd didn't have that unique sound on a lot of their earlier collaborations, who knows if those songs would be as big as they are today. But yeah, I don't know, that's just my thoughts about it. Let me know how you guys feel about this in the comments below. I'm sure some people disagree, some people might agree. Let me know in this case if you think Trippie Redd comes across looking like a hypocrite or not. I want to know what you guys think about this. Let me know in the comments. Also, before we finish this video, a couple quick shout outs from the Instagram. Big shout outs to I'm Tired 91 and also UFO Yeet for following me over on my IG. Much appreciated, YouTube. If you guys don't follow your boy man at your dig, make sure to go show me some love over there. Always much appreciated. Also, a reminder about the Big Cartel where we have a couple merch pieces. You can see some Cardi ones, some Uzi ones, etc, etc. If you guys are interested, link is in the description to cop. But as always, thanks a lot for watching. If you haven't yet, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, turn on notifications, all that good YouTube stuff, and there are more videos of mine on screen right now. Make sure to check them out if you haven't.